guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. I can't even begin to say how much respect I have for
How are you both?
We're doing well, like I said, it's just
I got you guys here. It's awesome.
right on.
Right, yes. I try to give more than I take.
All right, guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have a very, very long time friend, and he's our amigo, and his name is Andrea Papas, also known as the Greek Spartan. How you doing today, man?
That's right. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me on here. It's an honor to always be on your shows, surrounded by you guys. I've known you for a while. I consider you like family. It's I've never met you guys personally up face and personal, but it feels like I've known you my whole life.
Yeah,
it feels like I'm just connected. Like as you guys are practically my amigos, like my bros, my homies, and just got such a good relationship with you. And I value so much your work and what you guys are doing in the industry, and making a successful living out of it. And nothing better to do what you passionately love, helping people, making their business a success, and then you guys in the interim and at the same time doing well yourselves. And that gives me joy, because literally what you guys have done is your platform is great. It really is.
Thank you.
It's something that I do recommend, and hopefully I can catch on the bandwagon one day and do myself. I really do. It's just unfortunately with circumstances, we moved into a new place, and with this whole COVID finances, and we've had to invest. I've had to invest money in other parts and pieces here and there, and with other businesses going on here locally, I've just launched a new sugar-free sauce company. So you
Nice.
just can't imagine, you're a bit cash tight. So it's
Yeah.
never to say that I'm not going to jump on board soon with you guys.
I appreciate all those kind words, man. And you know what, too? I just noticed that we all have the eyebrow game going on. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where it's from. This is, my dad had it. I think it's a Greek thing.
Okay.
I don't know, but listen, I think it's a nice thing to have, because I don't see
Absolutely.
many guys or
It
females
is.
that I know that females always paint their eyebrows and want nice, thick, bushy eyebrows. And I always get comments, "Oh, why you have such beautiful eyebrows?" Okay, I'm going to go modeling.
Yeah, heck yeah. Love it. All right, well, let's get started, man. And I'm excited to have you on this segment, because again, you have so much experience as a coach, and just everything that you do is just very ethical, just science-based, and you get results, and you've been doing it for years. So I know the listener is going to get so much. So let's get started with this. How long have you been a fitness coach, and what is the best lead strategy that's working for you right now to get new clients?
Eric, I've been doing this for the past, I would say, properly and more in a professional manner. I started off here and there, as a normal coach, testing one or two clients. I could say the last 10 years I've been working and coaching clients. And it's something that I didn't think I would do as a full-time job. And then, one thing led to the next, and I just became so passionate. And when I started seeing my clients change their lives, and how I changed my life from being an overfat, 150 kilo fat little boy who was insecure, who was always teased. That's why I got into fitness. That's why I got studied. That's why, I went into the nutrition field, into exercise physiology, studied university here, there, got qualified. And then just one thing led to the next, where I just got passionate in changing people's lives. And that's where I started coaching. And just, bringing my education background and what I studied, what I've learned. I did a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of material, but also my experience through what I've been, the trials and tribulations. I think that's so valuable today that you just can't teach in a textbook. And I'm very much evidence-based and science-based. But this whole evidence and science-based community has taken a bit of a skew leap, if you know what I'm saying. Everything's a science, everything, and not, yes, it is a science, but we've got to look at the whole psychological component and thing. Also the experience that you bring to the party. You bridge all those together. Then you bring together your own coaching hybrid. And that's what I've done. I've accumulated pieces of everything over the course of the years, from my studies to my educational background to mentors that have mentored me. I mean, even from you guys, learning from things from you guys, from me, and just putting it all together and just putting it into your own hybrid. And that's over the years to the experience I've developed to, become a better coach, but also coach not just in giving out diet programs and training programs, but working on the psychological components. We're human beings. We're not robots.
Yeah.
Understanding that there's so many other facets to just, okay, here's your training program, here's your diet, here's whatever strategy you're going to give. Do you know what I'm saying? And I believe that when I started in the beginning trying to chase clients, I wasn't getting clients because I was literally trying to okay, I want to make money. And when I just let go of not focusing so much on the money and just focusing more on the passion and about helping people, it just started falling together. I just started writing good content. Lane Norton got to know me. Alan Aragon got to know me. James Creaker. All these guys said, oh, wow, we love your posts. Brad Dieter asked me to write for I got a email from him not so long ago. And I just said, look, I would love to. I just don't have the time. And I really would love to cut myself in 100 pieces and just go and just help and be a part of everything, but you just can't. You've just got to focus on one dimension, prioritize on that, build that, and then once that's stable and going, then you can sort of transition into other periods. But yeah, for me, the biggest thing now is content, and not just throwing out content. Content where the average Joe and the consumer can sort of just understand, read. Because if you get all science and all technical, nobody ever understands it, referencing studies and all that. So you've got to I want to put out content where people can say, wow, I value this guy's knowledge. I understand where he's coming from. I can actually resonate with it. I can actually understand, okay, he's under the complexities of science. He's really brought it to the surface, but made it so simple for people to understand that it's it's like chalk and cheese. So I want to provide value where people take from our post and say, hey, you know what? I get these messages on Instagram. Andrea, you've changed my life just by following you. That gives me such joy. Just that in itself makes me so happy. And it's not about the money. That brings me more joy than just the money. The money comes once you naturally love doing what you're doing passionately, and you've got that energetic, eccentric passion. People feel that. And when I coach clients, I'm very selective when I take on clients. I don't take on clients anymore. I look at their mindset. I look at their skills. I look at where they've been. I look and I'm honest. I'm not just about I can say, hey, I can take your money. I can take your dollars, whatever the case may be. But the thing is, I'm not just to take your money. I can take on so many other clients, and I've learned to scale down. You guys said to me, Andrea, you're taking on too many, and I scaled down, and my business got better, and I started being a better coach. Because at one stage I just had too much, and I wasn't focusing, and I was losing control. And then when I started scaling down, I started focusing more, and I started being a better, more sort of like an intuitive coach, like meeting that person eye to eye, having a call them, hey, what's up? Are you okay? Because there's so many things than just okay. Here's your diet. How are you feeling? How are you emotionally? What's happening in your life? What's going on? What are these stresses? Especially when it comes to females' physiology and biology is so different to male's physiology. So you've just got to distinguish the differences. We're not all the same mentally, psychologically, our different life, our environment. So you've got to take, as a coach, yes, the science, the fundamentals, the basic principles of nutrition and exercise science, apply that, but apply each facet to the individual, what they can sustain. My whole goal as a coach is to create a path where they can, say they had a coach, they had an educator, they had somebody that taught them, that was knowledgeable and gave them so much than just a diet and a training program, that I set them up for life.
Yeah,
they can say, he basically gave me the tools, the skills. We taught them good habits, good behaviors, good mindset, good relationship with food, understanding the ins and outs of nutrition and training, understanding their very own biofeedback, their body, because that's one of the most important things that we get too caught up into the science, into the maths. Yes, it is a science and it is a maths. Don't get me wrong, but we get so caught up in the numbers that we lose so much touch on ourselves and what's going on with our own body
and the relationship.
So many outside factors, exactly, and the psychological and mental component. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
having that relationship with your client, being their friend, giving them hard love where you should, but also being there for them, supportive, communicative. I never ever do not respond within a day of when I get an email. And if I haven't responded, something must have happened, or I just haven't got the email, or there was just a loss in communication or somewhere along technology. Other than that, that's how you got to be as a coach. I actually get anxiety if I haven't replied, because it's just about being professional. Okay. But it's about I could never, and I've heard so many bad stories about coaching where, oh, they've taken money, haven't responded in weeks. I'm like, what? You know, and it's just crazy. But at the end of the day, for me, it's just about writing good content, educating the people, them seeing me and my real life story. I'm not going to hide behind Instagram where I use it as my main source of advertising, and Facebook a little bit, but more Instagram is my main portal where I use to advertise and get myself out there. I promote truth. What you see on Instagram is what you see.
Yeah.
The problem with like all these IG coaches, and I'm not saying everybody, IG is a great platform, but it can be, it can lead down to a slippery slope depending on who you follow, because you guys know there's a lot of good content, but there's a lot of bad content as well. And there's a lot of devious things that are going on Instagram. So it depends on who you follow, how you use it. So I just portray the truth. What you see is what you get. It's, you know, I'm not lying. I am who I am. And I just want people to say, okay, you know what? This guy's also a human being. He also makes mistakes. He also has these ups and downs. It's never sunshine and rainbows. And when you accept and say the realities of this, that it's a journey it's a forever ongoing journey. It's a lifestyle you embrace. And when you teach your clients that, I think they understand it better. They stress less. They don't have that anxiety anymore. They don't have that obsession anymore. And when you invest in the process and when you understand the true realities of this journey, it just becomes so much clearer. And that's what I want to do to all my clients. That, you know, unless you're a competitive athlete, unless you're you're doing a competition or whatever the case may be, yes, it's a different demographic completely. For the lifestyle person that just wants to get into shape, change their lifestyle, it really is, you guys know, it's just about the simple, basic fundamentals, applying them to each individual in their lifestyle where they're psychologically connected, mentally connected, emotionally and spiritually connected into this journey where they can sustain for the rest of their lives. And that's just how I am as a coach, you know, guiding them in the right direction where they can endure for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, exactly, man. And like, geez, I mean, you dropped so much gold, just so much gold in that whole entire rant right there, man. So people, go back and listen to everything he just said right now, because he gave so much gold in that. So which brings me to kind of shifting gears here, Andrea, is I want to talk about self-limiting beliefs. So as a coach, and even like ourselves too, right now, we deal with these still. With self-limiting beliefs, you know, a coach can deal with like fear of getting started, fear of failure, comparison syndrome, money mindset issues, right? All those different self-limiting beliefs that this voice tells us we're not good enough, like you're not competent enough. Did you have any of those self-limiting beliefs that really held you back? And then also, do you have any right now to this day that hold you back?
You know what? That's a very good question. And a lot of people doubt themselves and have a lot of fear. And the reason is, the biggest thing that I see is we compare each other to everybody else. And that's what creates internal fear, because, oh my God, he did that. She did that. She looks like it. What if I don't? What if I am not? I can't be like her. We need to focus on us. And when you put your mindset to something and you really want something deep enough and you believe in yourself, self-belief is big. It's been broken from us because of society. Because we're trying to reach certain status. We see this one and we think they're great, they're superior, they've just got this perfect world, they're just doing this. And we try and like some way, okay, we can't be like that. Oh no, I'm nowhere near like that. So you actually realize one day that, geez, I can be similar, or I can be me, the best of me that I can be. Because fear is always going to be there. We can't eliminate fear. Negativity is always going to enter our mind. Okay. I've had negative thoughts. I've had fear, but being a Christian, I know that the devil's trying to implant these seeds of fear. And that's when I say, you know what? Block it out. Stop it. Don't let him get you. Because at the end of the day, the world meets nobody halfway. Okay. You want something, you got to get out there, you got to work, and you got to work hard. Okay. Because it's not going to be given to you on a gold plate. Okay. We're all going to encounter obstacles. We're all going to encounter hardships, struggles somewhere along the line. I use those negatives, those failures, those struggles. And that's what builds me. That's what I use and say, you know what? I'm not going to get defeated. I'm going to get back up. I'm going to build myself. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to think positive thoughts. Yes, it's not always going to happen. We are going to have down days. But majority of the time, I'm going to try and block it out. I'm going to try and do my best. You know, and that's the problem, is people just don't believe in themselves. They give up too quickly. They fail, and that's the end of the world. I failed many times, guys, many times in my coaching, in my studies, in my boxing, in whatever I did in life, in my cricket that I played, in rugby, in soccer. But I never gave up. I wanted it. It was the hunger. When I was a fat little kid, I was teased, I was bullied, and I was scared, I was feared, I was conscious, but I never gave up. I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. 17 years old, something just clicked in my head, and I said, I don't want to be teased. I don't want to go to the beach and just wear these clothes and just be shy and live in this cave where I'm scared to go out. People are going to tease me because I had these man boobs. I made a change. I decided. I let go of negativity. I blocked it out because I've realized the stronger you get, certain people don't want to see you get stronger. They don't want to see you get better than them. And I say, you know what? I'm going to use their hate, because you do get haters out there. You do get people that want to wish you down. You do get people that don't want you to prevail and do well and succeed and stuff. And I say, you know what? I'm not going to let them get to me. I'm going to use their negativity, and I'm going to let that seed of negativity grow into positive stuff. So that's what I've learned to do. And I read a good book, and I really recommend this book to everybody. It's from Napoleon Hill, and it only got released. He wrote it in the 1930s and got released now in the last 8 to 10 years. It's called Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have read it.
I read some of it.
That book, yeah, it's changed my life completely. When these negative things and these negative thoughts and fear come to me, I just realize, okay, where it's coming from, who's trying to plant these seeds. And I go around it and say, hey, don't let him get in your mind. Don't let him attack you, because you are going to get attacked. You are going to get days where, like, what's tomorrow going to bring? How's business? You've lost a client, or you gained a client, or whatever the case. Fear's going to be there. It's how you control it and how you manage it. You don't let it overcome you. And how you control these things in your life with these thoughts, because trust me, it's not going to just be pure thoughts all the time. I'm talking now positive, and I'm trying to motivate, and I'm trying to be inspiring and stuff. And yes, that's what I want to be. I want to help, and I want to motivate people. I want to make people believe that you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. It's all about the mindset. Okay. Yeah. And once you shift and you transition that mindset in that different, what I call it, in those green pastures, it's a different ball game. You're on the right track. But that doesn't mean you're going to go through bulk. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect smooth. You're going to encounter ditches, holes. You're going to encounter rough patches. And that's what's going to keep you growing. Okay, good. I fell down. I'm getting up. I'm learning from that. New path, new journey, new dimension. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And through that, through all those obstacles, I've learned some people just give up. They just don't, unfortunately, they just don't have it in them. And like I said, you know what? Sometimes a little bit of hard love and say, you know what? Get up on your bike and keep on cycling.
Yep.
You're going to get beat down to your knees, because the world meets nobody halfway. It's a cruel world out there. And if you're not strong mentally, not physically, anybody can physically strong. If you're not strong mentally, this world will beat you.
100%.
Man.
Woo. I would say, you know what? If you had water, just to pour that on a microphone. Man, that is such good stuff, Andrea. I mean, honestly, if that doesn't hit home with one person, then I don't know what would. But everything you said, I can't disagree with anything. It's so true, so thank you so much for shedding that. And we're going to conclude this just because we want to keep these relatively short, but where can the listener...
I tend to go on a rant and
it's okay. It's all good stuff, man.
I'm happy to come on anytime and join you guys.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful, man. Everything you said, everything you said, it's amazing. And I know this is going to impact a lot of people. So where can the listeners keep up with you and find out more information about you?
They can follow me on Twitter. On my name is, everybody knows me as the Greek Spartan, because I'm Greek and I'm from Sparta. My dad was a Spartan. So that's they can get me on Instagram. They can get me on Twitter. They can add me on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. And I'm open to help anybody. Just DM me. If I don't reply, I don't always reply because I don't get notifications. And then when I go in there, I'll reply when I can. And I'm just here to help motivate and inspire people and just put them on the right path, for whatever the goals and whatever their journey is,
Absolutely.
Awesome, man.
Thank you so much. We'll have all that linked up in the show notes. And guys, please go follow Andrea and everything he's doing. He's a wealth of knowledge. He has such a big heart. And again, he's just doing some great things. So thank you again for your time and wisdom, Andrea.
Guys, thank you so much for having me on, and it's an honor once again, and I can't wait to jump back on your show once again. I just love speaking to you guys and about everything about what we both share in common.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, until next time. All right, guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We got the awesome Dylan Bear with us. Dylan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure being on with you guys. So
always, man. I think it's like your third time on the podcast, but this is a kind of different twist that we're doing with this one with the coaches segment. And man, I can't even begin to say how much respect I have for you and even, Lauren too, what you guys have established as coaches in the fitness industry and everything. So I'm excited about this. I know you're going to drop a lot of just valuable stuff, for like aspiring coaches or even, ones that are just already seasoned.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right on. So let's kick it off. So how long have you been a fitness professional? And then what's your go-to lead generation strategy right now that's working really well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually started coaching when I was a little bit into undergrad at Ohio State. So back in 2012, and then I graduated with my undergrad in 2013. And then after that, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But then I luckily decided to go back to school for medical dietetics to become a dietitian. And then it's that first semester of grad school, fall of 2013, when I decided, hey, I've got a couple clients and I really like this, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to pursue this. So I wanted to pursue my master's degree in dietetics, become an RD. So basically, since fall of 2013 is when I was coaching basically like 5 clients at the time, and then throughout my time at Ohio State, I wanted to build up a platform for when the time I graduated with my master's, I could basically take my platform and run with it and go full-time coaching. And I'm blessed to say that's exactly what we did. And we've been growing exponentially ever since. And, during that time, especially during the beginning phases of my coaching, the only thing that what was really helping me get more clients was just kind of word of mouth. And I'm sure you guys could agree, word of mouth is the biggest thing. I didn't really market myself any other way other than my clients getting results. And then, as social media started to pick up, become more popular, and, the Instagram stories throughout this time, especially after I became an RD. Oh, here's my.
Oh, there we go. We got a guest.
Throughout this time, Instagram stories were starting to become a really amazing thing for our business model, just because we have a lot of clients getting really great success, both in lifestyle and the bodybuilding scene, because that is our specialization. And our clients started tagging us in these Instagram stories as they do now. And, that has been crazy for our business growth, because it's just free marketing. So we encourage all of our clients to tag us on Instagram. We want to pimp them out, show their results, and, the Instagram platforms and all the other social media platforms, word of mouth, and just sharing our clients' results and getting results, especially at the bodybuilding level, and getting a lot of wins for all of our athletes. That's been critical for, getting us the most amount of leads, and something I want to kind of touch base on as well is because we get this question a lot, Lauren and I, if we've ever hired like a business coach or anything like that, because I feel like business coaching is pretty popular right now. And I just want to make it a point that we've actually never hired any kind of business coach. We are friends with a ton of business coaches and always, have learned a lot throughout, just kind of asking them questions and picking their brain. But we've never went out our way to like hire somebody to help with our business leads and generate more leads. Because I know a lot of people are asking, a lot of aspiring coaches ask me, well, do you hire like an assistant to DM outreach on Instagram and things like that? Because I know a lot of people do that, and that's totally fine. It might work for them. However, we have never done that. Again, I just think something that's really created the most amount of leads are the results that we provide for all of our clients. And, we just continue to do that, and it continues to generate more leads on a daily basis. So we're very grateful for that.
Yeah. And I love how you just like touched on that point that you guys didn't like have to hire anyone to help you guys. And I think that's perfectly fine. It's like you guys have done like so much. And again, you started back in 2013, right? To where it's like, that's a lot of time.
Everything on my own, just kind of test the waters, a lot of trial and error, just like
exactly.
I've evolved our systems over time. When I'm lucky to have 7 other coaches and dietitians alongside us coaching with us, and continue to develop a better system so we can further tailor to all of our clients throughout the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what would you say, Dylan, that you guys do really, really good, like at Bear Aesthetics, to where it's like nobody else really does what you guys do, to where it's like your clients are like, wow, this is exactly why I'm here at Bear Aesthetics. This is exactly why I hired you guys. Like this whole experience, what do you guys do differently?
Yeah. So if you guys know Bear Aesthetics, you've probably seen a lot of our team photos. We roll into these shows.
Yeah.
The thing that I have noticed, people want to feel a part of something. So we try to create something beyond a team atmosphere. And I tell people, we truly have a family relationship with all of our clients. So creating that, team, family, and community that is full of positivity and support, that has been huge for us. And that is something that I am just so grateful for Bear Aesthetics, because I just kind of sit back and I see so many girls and guys supporting one another that have never even met each other, just via social media, or they see each other killing it on the stage of the bodybuilding world, and they're going out of their way to just give them that much more support. I see a lot of our athletes, they give each other like Venmos just because, hey, prep looks like it's been hard, but here's a little Venmo to hopefully get you through or get a coffee today or something like that. And just kind of seeing and, sitting back and seeing what kind of family environment that Bear Aesthetics has become. There's truly nothing like it. And, we kind of make it a part of our onboarding process when we have new clients come on board. We want people to understand, like, hey, this is a positive atmosphere. We don't want any kind of negativity, and we just want you to understand, like, this is a strong support system. So if you are a positive individual and you're going to be able to add value and support to our team, then we'll have you on board. There's no negativity, no bullshit, just science.
Yeah. And I love how you guys set the boundaries like that too, man. But the whole community aspect is spot on. That's what we used to do, is we used to do like, team dinners. We used to do like, workouts like at the Mecca together. And that's what it's about. Everybody meeting each other, like having that camaraderie, that community. So that's awesome, man. I've seen your guys' pictures too. Those are badass.
And then do you guys you guys probably have a Facebook group, right? For everybody to just like collaborate with, talk.
We have a Facebook group,
Nice,
a lot of members, and we always engage there. Like we just had VA Secret Santa. So we had a ton of people engaged in that. So that's super cool. And yeah, like you said, we go to these shows and it's cool to have people and athletes meet each other for the first time and just have like these team lifts before their show day, posing lifts and or posing sessions together. And it's just such a cool environment to have. Yeah,
that's amazing. So let's shift gears here, Dylan. So obviously, like, man, like when we all get started and, we have to deal with what's called self or false limiting beliefs, right? To take action. So let's take you back I want to take it back to 2013 when you were getting started with your business. Like, what was it that was really kind of like, inhibiting you from taking action? Was it like the fear of getting started, fear of failure, imposter syndrome, comparison syndrome, or was it more of like a scarce money mindset to take action with?
Honestly, it wasn't the money thing. Money has never been an issue as far as like, it never kind of scared me. It's always kind of motivated me, but I would say the thing that kind of would scare me the most is pursuing higher education the right way or the right thing for me to do. Just because I come from a background where nobody in my family has pursued higher education other than high school. And when I told my family I was going to pursue an undergrad degree, they kind of were like, but wait, you have to leave home in order to do that, because our family's like very tight knit in a small town, live in the middle of a cornfield. So the fact that I was kind of like, do I go to grad school or do I go to undergrad and then maybe pursue grad school? I don't know, because nobody in my family has ever done that. But I knew one thing, and that's one thing. The one thing that I did know is what I was passionate about, and I was passionate about nutrition and dietetics and helping other people. At the time, I wasn't like specializing in the bodybuilding world, but that kind of just came along with due time, thankfully. But I think it was just the fact that nobody else in my family has, pursued the route of education that I did and that I thought I wanted to. And just, the unknown, it was unknown whether or not this was the right route for me to go.
Yeah. And then is there anything, like, even till today, do you struggle with anything or wake up do you ever wake up in the morning and be like, man, like, am I doing enough? Or just like, is this going to crash and fail? Or just, is there any false limiting beliefs that you're just still struggling with today?
I mean, all the time I wake up and I'm like, what? I mean, 'cause it's just, I'm always thinking, how can we make the coaching experience better for all of our athletes?
Yeah.
That's always in the back of my mind. So it's like, how can I make this better? We just recently, a couple months ago, adopted a new communication via check-ins with the Loom videos. I don't know if you guys experiment with that.
Yeah.
I was thinking of how to make the coaching experience that much better. So we adopted the Loom videos, and I really like that as far as communicating, because it's a lot more personal for the clients.
For sure.
But luckily, I have Lauren here to, help, brainstorm. And like I said, I already have, we have a whole coaching staff of other dietitians and coaches that we can all group together and figure out what it is that we can create, how we can create a better atmosphere for our clients to not only get the best results as possible, but to also learn from it throughout the coaching experience as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man. And then just kind of to conclude this, like any like words of wisdom or pieces of advice from like the 7, 8 years that you have like coaching people?
Yeah, just follow your passion. I think that is the biggest thing that also has, yielded us so much growth is people see how passionate I am about this. I absolutely love what I do. And I get like goosebumps just thinking about, the growth of BA. And, if you're passionate about something, don't listen to anybody else. Just follow what your passion is and attack it full force.
Love that. 100% agree. So where can the listeners connect with you and just follow everything you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram, Dylan, DYLAN, Bair, BAIR _RD, as well as our team page at Bair Aesthetics. And if you guys are interested in coaching, you can check out bairaesthetics.com or email us directly at bairaesthetics@gmail.com.
Right on. We'll have all that linked up in the show notes. Guys, go follow Dylan. If you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice. So once again, Dylan, thanks again for your time, man. Truly appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Dylan.
All right, guys. Until next time. All right, guys. Welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have the awesome Holly Baxter with us. Holly, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you both?
We're doing well. Like I said, it's raining out here in Dallas, but we're excited to interview you and have you deliver a bunch of value on the episode.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I noticed too you got a bike back there. So are you big like bike advocate? And
Yeah. God, Lane and I have been riding for a little while now. I think I've always done it growing up, like mountain bike riding and just being outdoors. And obviously we live in Florida. So even though it is winter time here, it's still nice out. So yeah, we get out and ride by the water all the time. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Right on. I got to get on my bike game. So let's get into this, Holly. So first question is, how long have you been a fitness professional, and what is your go-to lead generation tactic hack that has been really working well for you to just acquire clients consistently throughout the years?
Okay, so I've been in the fitness game since I was about, 17, I'm going to say. As far as like formal qualifications, I did my undergraduate degree in food science nutrition. I started when I was 17, then I went on and did my master's in dietetics straight after that. So I've kind of been in the space for a long time, and that was, 12 years ago. I've had various positions, I guess, throughout my career. My main qualification is a dietitian. So I've worked as a dietitian in a clinical capacity, so working in hospitals, amongst medical professionals. And then I've also worked in, I guess, the fitness space for a good percentage of that as well. And I also have my training certifications. I kind of did all of that while I was growing up. So I've been doing it for a little while. But I think the biggest thing for me has been like, how can I help more people in a greater capacity than just me as an individual? So yeah, I think as far as like acquiring clients, that is not something that I am like currently in pursuit of, but I think I would love to talk to that on the sense that I have been able to expand beyond just that one-on-one, and it's now very scalable. So I think maybe to give your audience a little bit of background about like what I do, so that they know that they're getting information from somebody that I guess has applicable background and maybe goals. We have various or several different businesses, and I guess if I can talk to the different arms and starting from the ground up, we have a lot of educational books and courses that basically teach people the fundamentals of human physiology and anatomy and how that plays into achieving your body composition goals. If we move up that spectrum, I guess, of personalized learning, we then have our coaching arm. So we have a team of coaches at Team BioLane who, I guess, offer that accountability. They all have their unique attributes, and then they also help educate and learn and people to understand why they're being given these recommendations and not just, here you go and do this, like, monkey see, monkey do. So we have those kind of, I guess, arms of our business. And then moving into like our biggest tool, we have our new diet coaching app, Carbon Diet Coach.
Yeah.
So I guess that offers the most amount of reach in that it's like a global app. Anybody can utilize it. It's based on an advanced algorithm that basically tailors people's nutrition and adjusts on a regular basis based on how that person is responding. So that's kind of like the crux of our businesses at the minute. We have other things that are kind of involved in the fitness space or performance, sports performance. So we have supplements. We have our, I guess, workout builder and programs and stuff like that. So for the people that are listening, that's kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis. So you can see I'm not necessarily looking to acquire individuals to work with myself, but I think a lot of the strategies that I have used over the years have kind of helped me kind of grow into that bigger picture. So tactics, I think the first thing that I would say to kind of get you moving is having a long-term goal in mind. Like, where do you see yourself in 10 years, but then having something that's scalable, kind of moving backwards. So I look at the biggest picture first. Where do I want to be? And what steps do I need to take to get to that point? So there's a lot of, I guess, long hours, hard work, consistency, showing up every day, knowing how to say no to a lot of things that might pull you in direction away from those big goals, and probably a certain amount of authenticity as well. So just being a genuine person, being you, and showing a little bit of vulnerability so that you're relatable to people.
Absolutely.
I know that's a lot of stuff, but they're kind of like the immediate things that really spring to my mind to have helped kind of grow and expand over the years.
Yeah, I love that. And that sounds like just like a day in the life of an entrepreneur, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's so many things, I think, that you kind of have to put the puzzle pieces together as you go. There's a lot of failure involved and mistakes. And I think a lot of people get deterred if they can't do things perfectly, or, they're looking up to their influences or people that they're inspired by, that are passionate about similar things, because they're not on that level yet. It's like, well, how can I possibly do it if it's not exactly like this? Well, you don't have to. You have to start somewhere, and your journey is going to be completely different to where somebody else that you might be comparing yourself to. So
absolutely. One thing we always advocate is don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 10.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the biggest hurdle for so many people is that, fearing failure, and there's all these obstacles that kind of get in the way to that end point, but you just have to kind of ride that journey as it goes.
100%. And I really like how you mentioned, Holly, like how to kind of remove yourself from like that one-to-one coaching model, because here when we do our program with our fitness professionals, Dynamic Fit Pros, that's exactly what we teach. We teach them to do the one-to-one stuff and then scale beyond that to get to like a group style model or something more scalable that frees up more time and allows them to serve more people, right? So my question is like, how does somebody know, like just kind of like, is it years like type of thing to measure? Is it experience wise? Is it a certain amount of clients? I mean, how do they kind of measure and like understand like when should they switch from like that one-to-one coaching model to like more of like a group style model, or even like something like you guys are doing, like a course or an app?
Yeah. It's really challenging because, I think as a business grows, like you need to be able to learn how to delegate. But when you start delegating tasks and different responsibilities, there's then going to be a need for the financial component to be able to fuel, bringing on a new member of staff or someone to be part of the team or to get this stuff done. So I think the biggest learning lesson, I wish I could have kind of gone to my own mind when I was younger, is that there's going to be a certain amount of discomfort and I guess input from yourself for a long while before you are probably in the financial position to hire out and to start, expanding your business. So I think being patient with that, and not having this unrealistic expectation that, I've been doing this personal training thing for 12 months now. I've been trying to do the content thing on social media. I'm only earning, $15,000 more than I did in my first year. That's awesome. Like, that's great. Like, and, I think everybody has this, well, not everybody, but a lot of people think that you can go from like A to Z in like 12 months and all of a sudden now you can be this big fitness influencer and you're going to be making like 6 figures. It takes time. Like, the first 5 years of my business was just getting my shit together, like getting the processes down and just feeling confident in, what I was doing. That was 5 years. And then it's like, you have to progress to, okay, well, what's the next most important thing that I need for this to be successful, to give me back some time to do the creative for whatever project it is that you want to do, and really invest wisely with your time. But like I said, I think so much of that comes back to just being okay with the idea that there's going to be a lot of man hours and time and difficulty during that process. So it's hard to gauge. I think when you're ready to make that step, you have to commit and give it time to see how it goes. And I think, like, for me, it was a case of you're going to sink or you're going to swim. And I just made it work.
Yeah, no, I think you answered that beautifully. You know what I mean? It's like, number one, having like the discipline to have patience, and number two, it's like, if you made an extra 5 or 10 or 15, 20K like the next year, that's great. That's progress. You're moving the needle forward in your business.
You're leveling up.
And obviously it's hard to gauge like when that time is, but it's obviously with experience and kind of the reps and sets as a business owner, you'll know if you have that extra income to be able to sit there and hire out and like delegate and then build different systems to be able to scale, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think even in the first few years of growth with your business, you might not be profiting more. You might still be kind of taking home the same paycheck month to month, but there's expansion happening. And I think a lot of new businesses, they think that obviously their income is going to go up exponentially, straight away. And a lot of the time it's just kind of making the ends meet, getting the things done that need to get done. And then you kind of start to see the rewards, in the 3 to 5 year time space of doing that. Then you can start to become profitable. So, some businesses, I guess, if they pick like a niche market, do have that exponential growth and they are seeing those financial rewards immediately. But I think for the fitness space in particular, because it is quite saturated in that sense, I think it's so important to have patience with it.
Absolutely. No, well said. Play the long game.
Yeah.
So, Holly, let's shift gears here. So Chris and I are big proponents on breaking past what we call self-limiting beliefs and false belief patterns, right? We're all born with that. It's human nature. We still struggle with these till today. So let's say take you back like 10 years, like, you've been in this for over a decade, which is amazing. Lots of experience. What was the biggest, self-limiting belief that you dealt with? Like fear of getting started, fear of failing, comparison syndrome, imposter syndrome, scarce money mindset. What was that? And how did you break through that?
It's so funny you mentioned all of those things. And I would say at some point in my career, I have struggled with all of that.
Okay.
And the perfectionism mindset as well, like the need for something to be done perfectly, or if it's not the way that you envisioned it, then not doing it at all. So, all of those things kind of resolute with me. I definitely see some of those. And they still happen. I think even now, as somebody that's been in the game for so long, I'll be going through like something on social media, brainstorming ideas for new content, and something will come up and I'm like, damn, God, that's really good. Like, I love what they're doing and it's done so like perfectly in my mind. I go, I wish that I could be doing that right now. But then I also look at their career and they've got a jump start of 5 years on me. Like my husband is a really great example of that. He's been in the game probably 8 years more than I, and is very well known in the fitness industry. So when we first met, like I had this enormous amount of pressure and fear, like freaking out, like how can I possibly, match this person or do what they're doing? But then you really have to kind of take that step back and go, reality check. They have been doing this longer than me. They do have more knowledge than me. They've been in this game for such a long time. So I should stop comparing myself to this person. Let that inspire me to do what I do better, like every single day, and not have those crazy expectations that I need to be doing it exactly this way. And I think, as you kind of practice and lay down new content and try new things, like some things are going to work great and other things are going to suck so bad. You're going to perform terribly. You're going to finish a podcast and go, oh my God, that was terrible. Like, there are so many things that you will start to think, but if you let all of that negativity, set you to a halt, like it doesn't serve any purpose. So I think, when I have a failure or I'm worried about something or something's perceived to be really difficult, I think I really try to use that in a positive way and say, well, what can I do like today that's going to help me make a step forwards in my business for, a project that we're envisioning releasing next year? Rather than looking at the mountain and going, wow, that's so high, what's the little hill that I can tackle today that will help me make that step closer?
Yeah. No, very well said on that. And like I said, it's one of those things where it's like, I always tell our Fit Pro students, like, as soon as you buy into making the business about serving others and not about yourself, it makes it so much easier to get up every single morning and have those intentions, have that big why, and just keep pushing forward no matter what gets in your way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know we're coming to an end on this, Holly, and we can talk for days on this. This has been great. But is there any other maybe final words of wisdom for, a fitness professional, whether they are in the startup phase of like barely 0 to 2 years, or maybe that growth phase of like 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, for sure. You know what? I think if I could go back and tell my old self something, one of the biggest mistakes that I made was not giving or not having a service or a product that was obtainable to everybody. So I was a clinical dietitian. I had my own private practice for a while, and my price point to entry just for a once-off consult was quite high. I mean, I used to charge $150 for a 30-minute consultation. Some people had private healthcare, some people didn't. So I kind of really had a narrow window to kind of seek services. And I wanted to be able to give and to help or to listen, whatever it was. But I think now looking back, I wish that I had a tiered approach to the services that I offered. So I think having something that you can provide that is level entry for everybody, and it is like an effective, useful, very helpful product. And then having different tiers so that, the next person up that wants a little bit more, there's a price bracket that's under $100. Then you've got your $100 to, $500 bracket. And then maybe you have your big packages and things that are targeted for, the 6-month commitments and stuff like that. So I think that was something that I really missed and lacked. So getting creative with different services and products, toolkits and things that you can have that are really affordable for a lot of people. And that's kind of going to be your bread and butter. And that kind of helps with your cash flow to give you time to do other things that are in that biggest sphere. And what else? Probably just being consistent with your content. If you are somebody in the fitness space, especially, social media is not going anywhere. I think if you can have a daily task to put up a post, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be reused from months ago, from years ago. It doesn't have to be brand new. Like, you're going to run out of shit pretty quickly. Excuse my French. If you wanted to come up with something brand new every single time you post, it's not going to happen. I can tell you that now. There's only so many things you can speak on. So being consistent, posting daily, Whether it is something that you love or not, just do it.
Love it.
Holly, do you have some water right there to pour on that mic? It's on fire.
No, I don't.
No,
Too
honestly,
hot. Too hot.
yeah, honestly, way to wrap it up, and great words of wisdom and experience for up and coming fit pros. I appreciate it. So, Holly, where can some of the listeners or viewers follow you and support you on what you're doing?
Sure. So on Instagram, my personal account is Holly T. Baxter. We also have Outwork Nutrition, our supplement company. We have Carbon Diet Coach, our nutrition coaching app. We have Beauty and the Geek podcast. And then as far as our websites, I think everything is accessible from our Instagram pages. So all of the website links can be found on those pages. So yeah.
Awesome. We'll have all of those linked up in the show notes. And guys, go follow Holly if you're not. She's amazing. She's doing some really cool stuff. So once again, Holly, thank you so much for your time.
You are so welcome, guys. It was great talking with you.
All right, guys. Until next time. All right, guys. Welcome back to another Coach's Corner segment. We got the awesome Justin Mahaley in the house. How you doing, Justin?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I'm better now that I'm here with y'all. How you guys doing today? You feeling good?
We're doing well, man. I mean, we can call ourselves fellow Texans finally. We were just, talking a little bit, catching up before we hit the record button, but it's just good to hear, you're doing so well.
Man, Texas is the place to be. This is where people come to thrive. I really believe this. This is the GOAT state. It's the best state that there is by far. No one at me on that.
Exactly.
So, have you guys here. It's awesome.
Right on, man. No, and I know you have a lot of just knowledge, experience, and just wisdom to bring to the table. And I'm excited just to hear like your answers to these questions. And again, this is for like an aspiring coach, maybe a seasoned coach, but I know you're going to just deliver a lot of good stuff. So let's get right into it. So how long have you been a fitness coach? And then literally, like, what's your go-to lead generation, tactic right now to get clients?
Yeah, so kind of how I got into this all, I went to school at University of Cincinnati for exercise physiology. I wanted to be a strength coach really bad. And then I got into the strength coach world with the Bengals, with the Bearcats at University of Cincinnati. I was like,
nice.
I hate this. Like that was the worst job I've ever had. That was worse than stocking shoe sales at Journeys. That was worse than working at Panera. That was the worst job. Those were awful jobs. But I knew I just wanted to I loved watching athletes. I loved watching the physique develop and performance develop. So I got into coaching, personal training, coaching, whatever you want to call it, about 8 years ago. And since then, it's just, I was young, I was 19, and I was like, I'm going to train people. And luckily enough, somehow I was fortunate enough to get some people to trust me. But, I think what's so important about this and what the entire essence of my career has been based on, and you're asking about lead generation, how do you attract people? What do you do? Man, it's just being raw and real and transparent. But above all those things, dude, you got to be so fucking passionate about this, man. Yep. You have to be over the top. You have to love this. And that's why I've always resonated with you guys since I met you all at the LA Fit Expos. There's passion behind the words. There's meaning. There's intent when you talk. When you say something, it's not empty. There's a reason why you're saying it. There's a reason why you're talking, right? And intelligent people pick up on these things, and we can talk about why the intelligence in folks and the consumer matters here later on. Because I think it's a really important point, so don't let me forget that. Okay. The consumer intelligence is a huge deal. And when you compile a bunch of individuals who are able to believe in you or who honestly are able to just resonate with you. I was 19. I was at LA Fitness. And I was like, yes, I've never really trained anybody before, but I think I could probably be really good. You let me learn through you. Bam, we'll sign up for a $500 package. I don't make anything off that LA Fitness. Right. But you signed up. You acquire bodies, and you just have to be able to, that's what you have to have. You can read all the books. I have a whole bookshelf over here full of books. You can read every single one of those books front to back, take all the notes. You have no idea until you're seeing a body change, right? Well, what do we do when we see this body change? We're constantly pulling data. Okay, this doesn't work. That did work. This doesn't work. That did work on every single client. So over time, when you're compiling a lot of clients, let's say you compile 100 clients, some of the things that didn't work on 50 of those clients worked on the other 50. But what you're going, that's all theory, right? What you're going to find out is the things that don't work only don't work on a minuscule amount of people. The things that do work commonly work on a large variation of people, right? And so you're compiling this data, you're becoming a better coach, you're becoming more confident with the product you're putting out. And now a lot of I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know X, Y, Z. You now have answers to these questions. Now what happens? You're attracting more consumers in, but it's all based off of passion first and foremost. When you come to my page on Instagram, when you meet me in person, if you see me at the store, there's going to be passion behind what's happening. It's the exact same as you guys. When you have that just unending passion, like you wake up in the morning and it's just there. You don't have to turn it on. There's not a switch that you flip. You have it and you embrace it, but that attracts people. Now, along with attracting people, it pisses a lot of people off. Yeah. And I know you guys know this too. Like there's people who are like, oh, that guy's a phony, or that guy's an X, or that guy's a Y or Z. Yep. They don't know passion. They don't understand passion. If you're a truly passionate person, and I always recommend, even outside fitness, if whatever your true passion is, that's what you need to chase. And something I hear common is, well, what if my passion doesn't have any money? Yeah, there is. You got to make it. You got to create that cash. If your passion's basket weaving, you can create an 8-figure business in basket weaving. You just have to be able to chase it hard enough and sacrifice enough, right? So the unending passion, that's number one. I truly believe that's number one. The number two is being real sure of yourself. I know what I'm saying is right, but I'm open to be changed. I'm open to, we never want to be closed-minded to having the change, right? So when you preach your word, and I struggle with this really bad early on, I know we're going to touch on that later. When you preach your word, like lay your foot down with it, stand by it, be firm with it. If someone wants to have a conversation about another approach, that's fantastic. That's how we learn, is if we're all kind of collabing together, right?
Right.
I think those two items are just so massive in lead generation. And, obviously number three, you got to get results.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, people are hiring you to change, their physique, their performance. I know that I get hired very often because people vibe with the mentality and they really want to level up their mentality. They want to be able to speak the same language. People are hiring you for, more than just, you're passionate and you know what you're doing, like now change my life situation. And, that's something that's not something that a coach trainer, that you can't take that lightly. People are hiring you to be their main influence.
Sure. Exactly.
To a coach, if you have 150 people on your roster, that client's one of 150. But to them, you are their one coach. And so every time you're talking to one of those clients, you have to give them that one-on-one approach. It can't be generic. It can't be bullshit. It can't be fluff. You have to make them know that they're very cared about. So I think if you can deliver on those three variables, that you're going to have massive lead generation. I also want to know, up until about 2.5 years ago, I mean, I was around, there was maybe 50 clients on the team if I was lucky. And that was, I was 5.5, 6 years in at that point. You have to keep preaching your message. You have to be overly consistent with it. You have to sacrifice a lot of mental well-being, and a lot of sense of self, if that makes sense. Am I real or am I a fraud? I need to find out. It's the imposter syndrome type situation. Yep. You need to keep preaching that message and clients will come. I promise that. We were around 50 2.5 years ago, and we're over 700 now.
Jesus, crazy.
It's dope. It's exciting.
That's crazy, man. And that's one thing I've really respected about you is just you say your word, you stay true to it. You're authentic. I see the passion in your posts too. And when we met in person, we just vibe because of the energy easily. Right. So my next question is just you hit on saying that passion that you have to have, and that's what really kind of separates you with your team is the mentality, the passion, right? So has there been a tactic as far as a client experience tactic that you do with your team or as a coach that nobody else can really kind of top?
Dude, this is a really good question because I had a chat with my staff about this last night during our meeting. I wholeheartedly believe. So I kind of have a cheat code, right? I was in the NFL for a little bit of time, and I got to see how that went down. Well, in the NFL, players are bound by contracts. The coach can be, mean and brutal and say all the things. I mean, some of the things I heard, I would never repeat. They can tell those things, and the athlete can't really go anywhere, right? So when I was there, the Bengals were in the playoffs and winning a ton of football games, and I've been a part of teams that won a ton of basketball games, a ton of track meets, a ton of, whatever. And I've been part of losing teams too. And what I've noticed from these two things is, man, on the winning team, the coaches have extremely high expectations and the coaches coach very hard. On the losing teams, the coach didn't really ever set an expectation. There wasn't a foundation of, hey, at the bare minimum, we should be in the championship game. And guess what happened? We sucked. Now, of course, talent goes a long way, X, Y, Z, and it's the same thing in bodybuilding or, fitness, whether you're just if you're just an average fitness goer trying to improve your health, right? But I think that there is beauty in a coach always being completely transparent. A coach has to have an expectation. If you sign up with me, I expect every single check-in that 7 out of 7 days were perfect. I'm also a high-level bodybuilding coach. It's a little bit different, right? When I was more of a general health coach, all right, 6 out of 7 days need to be very good. There's a massive difference between very good and perfect. If we get 6 out of 7, we're gonna see a lot of progress. If we get 5 out of 7 very good days, the other 2 days aren't that bad, we're still going to see progress.
Right.
So the coach has to set this expectation for themselves first and foremost. This expectation has to be communicated to that client. And the client sometimes might need to be reminded of the expectation along the way. They fall off the wagon a little bit. They're, struggling to be motivated or, whatever it might be. That the coach comes in. And I think there's beauty in not always being like, oh, it's okay, Chris and Eric, you guys can just hop back in this week and let's attack and let's do it. No, you guys are dropping the ball and you're not meeting expectation right now. What resources can I provide to you? Do you need to check in with me daily? Do you need to send me my fitness file screenshots every night? Do you need to send me cardio accountability? What can I do for you? Because right now we need to be 7 out of 7 and you're not there. Usually that client's going to come back like, I don't need anything more from you. You give me all the tools, all the resources. I need to do it myself. I need to be better myself. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Every single night, you're going to check in with me this week. You're going to send me a message every single night of that week. You're going to tell me how the day went. One of two things is going to happen. They're going to message you every single night that week, and they're going to be completely transparent. At that point, the cover's blown. They haven't been perfect. They're fucking up, right? It's our job to right the ship. So they either hit 7 out of 7 days with messaging you at night, or they don't hit 7 out of 7 days messaging you at night, and that they're still not following protocol. Yep. At that point, hop on a call, show them you care. So essentially what I'm getting at here is make sure every resource you could possibly provide, they need to know that they have access to. Make sure that they know that they have access to it. Push it out there, put it on them, and give them the responsibility of the expectation is right here. We need to match this expectation. And also, I think there's a lot in saying, in the last question, we talked about attracting clients with passion. Well, don't just attract them with passion, keep them around with the passion too. Yeah. Like if you're a passionate coach and your life revolves around getting people results, then show them. Like, let that be known. Let that be known in your response. Let that be known in the work that you give to them, right? Yeah. So I think that's really important because a lot of coaches kind of tiptoe around I don't want to I don't want to be hard on this client because what if they cancel? I really need that extra $3, whatever they charge a month. We can't live like that. Then you're walking on eggshells, and I believe the client's kind of in control of you at that point, and it should be different. They hired you. They sought you out. There's tens of thousands of online coaches.
Exactly.
They could have hired anybody, and all these people are getting results, right? Yeah. Because a large part of online coaching is just motivation. They could have hired anyone that hired you. So coach them. Them.
And real quick, I'm so happy that you're touching on this because it's true. Yeah. That's what a real coach does. And this is something that Chris and I did so much of back when we did a bunch of fitness coaching, right? And that's what made us so successful. And we're teaching this now to our Fit Pros is the acronym HACK. So HAC, which is they're buying hope, accountability, and certainty from you. And you need to show up every fucking day, give that to them.
I was going to say, Justin, goddamn, man, pour some water on that mic. You're on fire.
I told you I love this stuff. I told you I'll be in the fire, baby.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love that hack analogy. That's really, really, really cool. That's dope.
Yeah. So let's segue into just overcoming self-limiting beliefs. And you touched on this a little bit. So most fitness coaches are either dealing with fear of failure, fear of getting started, imposter syndrome, comparison syndrome, or a scarce money mindset. Which one was it that you had to battle, just getting started and to really create that belief?
It's everyone. So everyone kind of has like a different place they're from, right? So I'm from a really small town in Ohio, and everyone knows really small town Ohio. You probably don't escape that really small town. There's a thing called the Midwest mentality. It's the most real thing I've ever heard of in my life, right? And so overcoming that, like the fact that, you know, no one in my family has ever run a company. Everyone in my family has always worked at a factory in Springfield, Ohio. Every single male has worked in that factory in Springfield, Ohio. No one's achieved anything, right? And so I was like, I really wanted to break the mold. I wanted to achieve something. I was the first one to ever go to college straight from high school. And like, that was an achievement in of itself. And you know, my biggest self-limiting belief used to be, it's never going to be you. Like, you can just be a little bit better than your parents and what happened before you, but it's not going to be you. It's going to be someone else who had these tools and resources, right? Now, I want people to hear that, because now, you know, you might be listening to this podcast. Maybe you know who I am. Maybe you've never heard of me. You look me up on Instagram. There's all these results. There's all this stuff. There's all this, like, TM's huge. This logo is known globally, and that's cool. It wasn't like that.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't supposed to be like that. I didn't have resources and tools. The biggest self-limiting belief is like, I don't have anything. What do I do? Like my back, I was between a rock and a hard place too. But you know what you have? I talked about this. I'm doing an IG Q&A before this. If you can go through the dark tunnel, and you guys will be able to relate to this. If you can go through the dark tunnel when it seems like everything's bleak, nothing's actually progressing, I'm doing all this work, and I haven't had a new client inquiry in 4 weeks, and I lost 2 clients. It's freaking December. Christmas is coming up. I have no money. I need to stop chasing this freaking goal. It's never going to happen. If I just pick up an insurance sales job, I'm going to have stability. I'm going to have a safety net. I'm going to have all that stuff, right? There's nothing wrong with insurance sales jobs, but for the ambitious person, that's not the end goal, right? There's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's black. You're in there alone. No one understands what you're doing. Why are you sacrificing these things? Why do you care so much about this? If you can just keep fucking going through that tunnel, and you just keep putting one foot in front of the other towards a light that's not there, well, eventually it's going to appear. It has to. Every tunnel comes to an end, right? Every tunnel has to its end.
I like that.
That's great.
You come through the exit, and what's there? It's a whole new world than wherever you just walked in from, right? And I truly believe most people just aren't mentally tough enough or resilient enough, or just don't have enough self-belief in their own capabilities.
Yep.
But dude, you know what's so fucking cool? If you're listening to this podcast right now, you have everything you need at your disposal to build a 7-figure company. Everything you need. You have a good cell phone, you have Wi-Fi connection, maybe you have a computer. That's all you need. That's all you need. Like, you can build. You know what's wild? The first year I did 6 figures, I didn't even have a laptop. It was all from my phone. And like, if you have that, you can turn this into something. You can become something. You can make content. You can curate content. You can post content. You can attract people. You can spread your message. All of that stuff. You can do it here right now. So my biggest one was, truly the self-limiting belief of like, it's not supposed to be me.
Yeah.
The financial thing was a big one, but honestly, like, I didn't come from any money, so I wasn't really that scared to be broke.
Yeah.
Like, this is just life. But like I said, I want to reiterate, there's so much talent. And honestly, like, if you're listening to a podcast with someone like me, if you're following along with Eric and Chris and what they do, you're probably not a talentless person, because talentless people kind of weed themselves out, and they don't listen to the messages that people like us are spreading. They listen to more, they don't want to be called out. They don't want to be made to feel inferior, if you want. It's not that we mean to make people feel inferior, but sometimes if you're not good enough, then you need to be told that you're not good enough.
Yep.
You need to be better. You need to do what it takes to improve, right? If you're here right now, if you're still listening to this podcast, you likely have some talent inside of you, and you likely have a pretty innate belief that you can do some things that other people cannot do. And so I just want to tell you, just push to the end of the tunnel, push the cart through the end of the tunnel, go all the way. Don't let failure be an option. You pivot. Don't fail. You pivot. Don't be scared of losing here and there, because the reality is, even in war, in a football game, in war, anywhere, there's the other team, the losing team's going to score some points, right? Well, We don't want them to, but they're going to score some points and they'll likely still lose. So along your way, along your path of success, there's going to be some battles that you don't win. But as long as you win that war, as long as you win the overarching war of, hey, I'm achieving this goal, and at the end, I'm going to end up right here, then you won, right? All the lost battles were worth it. And again, in the end, you got a W. So I think that's really important for people to understand.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, I mean, Justin, I mean, Jesus Christ, man, like that whole light at the end of the tunnel and winning the war, not the battle, is just absolute fire, man. I know we can be here like literally for hours talking about this stuff, but this is absolutely gold for any type of fitness professional listening to this. So please, watch this a couple of times, take notes. I mean, this is great. So Justin, I mean, where can the listeners follow like what you're doing, all the cool stuff?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm really mostly on Instagram. I don't really do any other social medias. My tag is J Mihaly Fit. Mihaly's Mihaly. And I have a podcast, Grow or Die podcast, that I'm going to try and get Chris and Eric on here really soon.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that. Maybe we can do one in person. That could be kind of fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that could be dope. We have a whole podcast studio down here, so we can make that happen. But
we'll make a trip to Austin.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, you know what? Most people never get mad about an excuse to go to Austin. It's an awesome place down here.
We'll have some fun out there.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, we will. It's a great time right now. So, follow on those two things. And, man, honestly, if you're from this podcast, you want to shoot me a message on Instagram, chat a little bit more, just let me know kind of where you found me from. And I'll always chat it up with you guys and help however I can.
Right on. Well, we'll have all that linked up in the show notes. Guys, literally go follow Justin, everything he's doing. Like, you guys will learn, some great stuff. So once again, Justin, thank you so much for your time. And until next time.
Until next time, thank you guys for having me on.
You're welcome. All right, guys, welcome back to another Coach's Corner episode. We have the awesome Najla Mallah in the house. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Fantastic. Thank you, guys.
We're doing good, and we're having a little technical difficulty earlier, but we're good to go. Like, got my coffee in, like I'm caffeinated, so I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on and just spread some of your knowledge and wisdom and stuff too, just like with the fitness industry and coaching.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on here today. This will be my first podcast ever.
Yeah. You guys heard that right. Her very first podcast ever, and she's gonna kill it. She's gonna kill it.
Let's do it.
Right on. So let's kick this off. So how long have you been in the fitness industry? I would say just like a fitness coach. And then what's your number one lead generation tactic right now that's working for you to get clients?
So I've been in the fitness industry, I would say about 6 or 7 years. I started my health and wellness journey my freshman year in college. I wanted to lose a little bit of weight. Didn't know what I was doing, just was doing random stuff at the gym. And then I decided that I probably should, learn more about it, see what works, what you're supposed to do. So I've been addicted, and it's been my passion since then. And I became a fitness coach recently within the last 2 to 3 years. And how I get my clients is mainly on Instagram. I like to use surveys, like short surveys, a quick questionnaire with questions, and based off their answers, I'll contact them and reach out to them and send them a little clip or a video on how they can get started with me and my husband or in my program.
That's awesome. And then that's something that we've never heard of, like people using like the polls feature, to be able to get clients on. So that's pretty cool. If I had to ask you, what's something that you do that's really unique with your clients to where it's like, holy shit, this is exactly why I work with Najla. This is exactly why I hired her, why she gets me results. Is there something that you do really a unique experience with your online clients?
I would say maybe it's not that unique, but I love to, keep in contact and communicate with my clients all the time, over communicate, always checking up on them. I had weekly check-ins, video check-ins scheduled every single weekend, always sending them daily encouragement. They can contact me anytime of the day, 24/7, any questions they had, anything that they needed. just anything like that. Just always keeping in contact with them and just communicating with them all the time, just so they can feel, encouraged and, not to give up on their goals and why they started.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And honestly, just that's one of the biggest things that we preach to like our Fit Pro students is just like actually giving a shit, you know what I mean? And just
Right.
like over delivering with the customer experience and customer service aspect, and just always kind of like just being there for them, right? It's like they're hiring you for accountability and hope and certainty. So, I mean, it sounds like you're just delivering that, over delivering that, right?
Right. Yes. I try to give more than I take, whether it's online, offline, in person, whatever they need, I'm there.
Awesome. Love it. So let's switch gears here. So for a lot of like fitness professionals, entrepreneurs, right? We all struggled with this at some point, and probably some of us struggled with this today, of just self-limiting beliefs and false beliefs, like the fear of getting started, the fear of failing, comparison syndrome, imposter syndrome, scarce money mindset. What was like the biggest limiting belief that you like just had to battle, before actually taking action? And if there was one, like how did you overcome that?
Yeah. Like most people, I had a lot of self-limiting beliefs. Like, am I enough? Will they like me? Because as an introvert, I question myself because I see all these extroverts and they seem like they have so much confidence and they have it all together. Even living with an extrovert, my husband. And so I'm always thinking like, man, I wish I can do what they can do. But then I realize I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to do what I can do, be the best that I can be, So I just do it. Fitness is my passion. I love it. So I want to help people and help it become their passion, help them transform their minds, their bodies, and even their bank accounts.
Yeah. That's I like what you said on there, that like like for example, okay, your husband, he's a full-on extrovert, and you said that you don't have that you don't have to do that, and I think that's actually really cool, just hearing that, because most people would be the opposite and be like forcing it, right, to where they say, oh, I have to do this, I have to be on video, I have to do all this stuff, and it's like, well, no, you really don't. It's like, obviously you have a big audience and they're gravitating towards you for a reason. You're doing something right. So I thought that was really cool you mentioned that.
Yeah, I think that everyone should go at their own pace.
For sure.
Yeah. Forcing yourself and pushing yourself. I mean, it's good to push yourself to get out of your comfort zone, but I think when you're ready,
Yeah. And that's what we see a lot with our Fit Pros too. Sometimes, like, they'll try to skip steps, and then they won't use their own unique like voice, their own unique message. They won't be authentic and true. And then, they start sounding like other people and trying to like be other people. And, people see through that shit right away,
Right away.
Exactly. Well, cool. So the final question I want to ask is just like any advice that you would give to any like upcoming Fit Pro that wants to go online, that wants to build an empire, wants to serve people, wants to really impact lives.
I would just say do it. Almost like my last question, or my last answer, just do it. I don't want to sound like Nike, but yeah, just we all get stuck in our head and, nervous about what the next person's going to think, but you won't know until you try it, especially if it's something that you love to do. There's nothing to be afraid of, If you love helping people, if you love fitness, if you love to be healthy, it's already something you love, so you might as well just get out there and do it. Even if you take baby steps, small steps to get there, start somewhere and just go.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Just do it. Just take action. Couldn't agree more. So Najla, where can the listeners find out more information about you and just, follow you?
My main platform I use on social media is Instagram. So you can follow me at Naj Malott, NAJMALOTT. And we're looking for new members of our OSNAP Fit team, my husband and I. So if you would like to be a part of that, head to the link in my bio and sign up there, or just head to osnapchallenge.com.
Awesome.
Giving away free 21-day challenge as well. So mind, body, spirit, all right there just for free.
Awesome. We'll have all that linked up in the show notes. So once again, Najla, thank you so much for coming on, your time, and just shedding some light, to help like aspiring Fit Pros or those that are struggling right now. Really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it, even though
bet.
I was nervous. But I guess it's not so bad, huh?
No, I told you we're good at putting people at ease.
I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Until next time. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video and another episode on pro tips on living a dynamic lifestyle. We truly appreciate it. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of it. If you're interested in getting more value like this from these pro tips, make sure to subscribe above. We're going to be dropping these daily. Also, if you are a fitness professional and you're looking to create more income, impact, influence, and independence, we just dropped our new book, Rise of the Fit Pros, so you guys can do all of that. And you can also start building your hybrid training model of in-person and online training. So make sure to click the link or the book right here to grab your guys' copy, and we'll send it over to you. Other than that, we're out. Talk to you soon.